This is Julian speaking, welcoming you to another battle report out of the breach. This time we will see a battle of two brothers. Bernd is playing against his brother Olaf. Olaf is still learning the game and his crew. So, get excited and look forward to a fun and casual game ahead. Grab a drink of your choosing, sit back and enjoy the battle report. The strategy is called Symbols of Authority. Every player creates 4 concealing impassable strategy markers in their table half and not within their deployment zone. The markers have to be at least 8 inches away from each other. A model can take the interact action to remove an enemy strategy marker, and a crew gains 1 victory point if they removed a strategy marker that turn. The schemes are: Detonate charges. A crew tries to get 2 scheme markers within 2 inches of the same enemy model. Assassinate. The enemy leader should be at half or below health for the first point and has to be dead at the end of the game for the second. Let them bleed. The 2 most expensive enemy models have to be on or below half health, and at the end of the game there should be only 1 enemy model at full health. Outflank. 2 friendly models have to be within 3 inches of where the center line meets the table edge on both sides and within 3 inches of a friendly scheme marker. Bait and switch. A secretly chosen enemy model has to be on your side of the board at least 4 inches away from the center line and within 4 inches of a friendly scheme marker. At the end of the game, the total combined soulstone costs of enemy models in your deployment zone should be 7 or less. It's Bernd with Euripides for the Neverborn against Olaf with Hoffman for the Guild. Euripides with his keyword savage brings his totem the primordial magic, Thune, 2 Cyclops, a Garion, a Gigant with Ancient Pact, and a Lyssa, leaving 7 soulstones for the battle. Hoffman with his keyword augmented brings his totem the mechanical attendant, Melissa, K-O-R-E, the peacekeeper, Joss, and 2 hunter, leaving 6 soulstones for the battle. Shortly you will see the chosen schemes. If you do not want to know, just close your eyes for a few seconds and I will let you know when to open them again. Wait, still interesting stuff on the screen. One moment. And now you can open them again. And here we see the crews after deployment. The green markers are the symbols of authority. Turn 1. Here we see the control hand of Euripides, and here of Hoffman. Hoffman wins the initiative flip, gains 1 pass token, and hands it over to Euripides. The primordial magic succeeds in form given to Winter on the Guardian, and he gains incorporeal until the end phase. Then it walks once and concentrates. Hoffman spends his pass token, and the Guardian walks once and concentrates. Hoffman activates, and because of his ability Power Nexus, every friendly construct within 6 inches gains a power token. Then he uses his tactical action Overcharge on the hunter on the other side of the forest. He needs at least a 6, and the hunter gains fast and a power token. There is no enemy model, so no move duels necessary. Then he uses Overcharge again on Melissa and succeeds. And then he walks once. The Cyclops walks once and concentrates. The hunter walks once and concentrates. Euripides activates, and because of his ability Intuition, he can look at the top 3 cards of his Fate deck and return them in any order. He walks once and uses Rune-Etched Ice to create a height 4, blocking, destructible and impassable ice pillar within 8 inches, and spends a Soul Stone for at home. He succeeds and can declare the Frozen Domain trigger to create 2 pillars. Then he uses his bonus action Reflective Visage, but fails cause he knew the 2 was coming, and then he concentrates. The Mechanical Attendant walks once, concentrates, and uses its bonus action Transfer Power on Hoffman. The Attendant discards a power token, and Hoffman gains a power token and is pushed 2 inches. The Gigant walks twice and ends his activation within 2 inches of an ice pillar and gains Shielded +1 and heals for 1 because of the Frozen Vigor ability, and forgets to draw a card for his Ancient Pact. Joss walks once and uses his bonus action Command Construct on the Peacekeeper. He needs at least an 8 of tomes, but the action fails. And then he concentrates. The other Cyclops walks twice. Melissa activates and uses her bonus action Transfer Power on herself to push for 2 inches. Concentrates and uses Run and Gun to charge and shoot at Euripides, spending her focus. Euripides is in cover and gains +1 on his defense, and any damage flip suffers an additional negative. The attack would hit, but Euripides can cheat a 12 and Melissa misses. Melissa shoots again. After cheating on both sides, the attack hits with a triple negative, resulting in weak damage of 2. Euripides uses a Soul Stone and prevents all damage. Thune activates and can see the top 3 cards because of Intuition. He walks twice, ends his activation within 2 of an ice pillar and gains Shielded +1 and heals 1. The Peacekeeper walks once and concentrates. The Lissa walks once and concentrates. The Hunter uses Transfer Power for the push and walks 3 times. And that is the end of turn 1. Both Hunters can move 4 inches because of their Deadly Pursuit. And here is an overview over the battlefield. Turn 2. Here we see the control hand of Euripides, and here of Hoffman. And we ignore that I forgot to change the round die to round 2. The Savage crew wins the initiative and hands it over to the Augmented, and they gain a pass token. The Hunter on the upper flank behind the building attacks the Cyclops. Because of the ability The Old Ways of the Savage crew, the Cyclops can suffer 1 damage to flip the top card of its discard pile, and the attack misses. Another attack from the Hunter against the Cyclops. Because of its power converter ability, the Hunter can discard a power token to receive either a plus or a suit of its choice to the duel. The Hunter chooses a plus flip. After cheating, the attack hits, and the Hunter declares the spool up trigger to gain a power token. Flips damage at a single negative, resulting in severe damage of 5. Then the Hunter uses its bonus action Pounce on Chest and spends another power token for a plus flip. The action succeeds, and the Hunter places in base contact with the Cyclops, and the Cyclops gains Injured +1. The Primordial Magic walks once, concentrates, and succeeds in a form given to Winter on the Garrion to give it Incorporeal. Hoffman activates, and every construct within 6 gains a power token. He cheats to succeed in an overcharge on Melissa to give her a power token and fast, and cheats again to overcharge Joss. Then he walks a bit to the side. Euripides sees the top 3 cards of his Fate deck because of his intuition. He cheats to succeed with his rune-edged ice to create an ice pillar next to a symbol. Then he uses his bonus action, Reflective Visage, and can declare the Shattering Surprise trigger to place in base contact with the ice pillar and remove it afterwards. Then he uses an Interact action to remove the symbol of the Augmented and succeeds in another rune-edged ice to create an ice pillar in front of him. The Augmented spend a pass token, and the Lissa walks twice because there is another symbol behind the bridge. Joss cheats for a command construct on the Hunter, and it walks once to get on the other side of the fence. We decided before the game that you need 2 inches of movement to climb it. Then Joss walks 3 times to get to the Savage symbol. The Cyclops charges and spends his focus for the attack. Joss uses his focus for the defense, and the attack misses. Second attack, but Joss defends himself again. The Hunter shoots its harpoon gun at the Cyclops and spends a power token to get a straight flip. The attack hits, flips damage at a single negative, resulting in weak damage of 2. And the Cyclops is pushed 3 inches towards the Hunter. Then the Hunter charges to attack the Cyclops and spends its focus. The Cyclops suffers 1 damage to use the Old Ways and flips the 9. The attack hits with a critical strike trigger, gets a straight damage flip for a weak damage of 3. The Hunter cheats in a severe, but the hard to kill saves the Cyclops from dying. The Hunter uses Pounce on Chest, but the attack misses. The Garrion walks once and charges to attack the Hunter and spends its focus for the attack. The attack hits with a red joker and can declare the chill trigger to hand out slow. A straight damage flip for weak damage, but the Garrion cheats in a severe for 6 damage. The armor of the Hunter prevents 2, and the Hunter suffers 4 wounds and is slow. The Mechanical Attendant uses transfer power on itself to push 2 inches, walks once, and shoots at the Cyclops. Spends a power token to get on a straight flip, cheats for the hit and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in moderate damage, killing the Cyclops. The Cyclops in the back uses Ice Pillars and suffers 1 damage to use the 11 of tomes in the discard pile because she needs that tome to create an Ice Pillar. She cheats to succeed in Frozen Runes to drop a scheme marker in base contact with the Ice Pillar. Then she attacks the Hunter. Because of her ability Grid Aggressive, she gets a plus for the attack because she has half or less of her maximum health. The attack hits against the Black Joker, gets a straight damage flip resulting in weak damage of 3 reduced to 1 because of the armor. Because of Frozen Vigor, at the end of her activation she heals 1 and gets shielded +1. The Peacekeeper uses Transfer Power to push for 2 and shoots with its harpoon gun at the Garrion. Uses Focus for the attack to get on a straight flip. The attack hits and gets a positive damage flip resulting in a red Joker damage of 6, reduced by 1 because of Incorporeal, and the Garrion is pushed 3 inches towards the Peacekeeper. For its last action, the Peacekeeper just walks to engage the Garrion. Thune activates, and here we see the Intuition cards. Because of his ability Shifting Ice, he can push an Ice Pillar marker within Aura 4 3 inches in any direction at the start of his activation. Then he walks once and charges to attack Melissa. He spends a Soul Stone for a tome to declare the Frozen Trophy trigger. The attack hits, gets a straight damage flip resulting in moderate damage of 4, reduced by 2 because of Melissa's armor, and Thune places an Ice Pillar in base contact with her and she is buried until the Ice Pillar is destroyed. Thune ends his activation and heals for 1 and gains shielded +1. Melissa activates but is buried and cannot do anything. The Gigant walks once and discards a card for Arcing Shot, so he can ignore line of sight and cover and throws a boulder at the Hunter. The attack hits and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in weak damage of 2 reduced to 1 because of the armor. The Gigant ends his activation and this time remembers his ancient pact to draw a card. The Hunter, we can see, pushes with its Deadly Pursuit, and the Hidden One is trapped between an Ice Pillar and a Cyclops and cannot move. The Savage Crew gains 1 point for the strategy and reveals Bait and Switch on the Hunter on the upper flank. It is more than 4 inches away from the center line and within 4 inches of a scheme marker. So it is 2-0 at the end of turn 2. Turn 3. And here we see the control hand of Euripides and here of Hoffman. The Savage Crew wins the initiative and the Garrion walks a bit to the side and uses its bonus action Reform from Ice and removes an Ice Pillar to heal for 2. Then it attacks the Mechanical Attendant and suffers 1 damage to flip the 13. The attack hits and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in weak damage of 3, reduced by 2 because of the armor. Yes, the totem also has an armor of +2. The Peacekeeper uses transfer power to push 2 and charges to attack Thune, and spends a power token for a plus flip. The attack hits, can declare the spool up trigger to get a power token, and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in moderate damage of 4. Thune uses a soulstone and reduces the damage by 3. The Peacekeeper discards a card for flurry to attack again. Thune suffers 1 to flip the 13 on top of his discard pile, and the attack misses. And the Peacekeeper uses an action to destroy the Ice Pillar to free Melissa. The Lissa walks twice to get in base contact with a symbol behind the bridge. Melissa activates and uses her bonus action Clockwork Grenade. She succeeds and Thune has to cheat to pass the movement 12 duel to avoid 2 damage. She charges to attack Thune in melee and spends a power token for a plus flip. Because of her ability Dynamic Generator, she gains a power token after declaring the charge action. The attack hits after cheating on both sides and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in weak damage of 2. Melissa attacks again, spending another power token for the plus flip, and Thune suffers 1 to flip the 11. And the attack misses. Euripides activates, and here we see the intuition cards. He walks once and succeeds in rune-etched ice with a frozen domain trigger to create 2 ice pillars. Every model within a pulse of 2 of the created ice pillars has to succeed in a movement duel against a 14 or suffers 2 damage. Thune succeeds, and the Peacekeeper and Melissa both have agile feet today, and no one suffers damage. Euripides uses Reflective Visage and cheats for the success and can declare the Shattering Surprise trigger. The Peacekeeper fails the willpower check and gains Distracted +1. And Euripides can place himself in base contact with the Ice Pillar and removes a symbol for his last action. The Hunter in the back attacks the Cyclops. The attack hits after cheating on both sides and flips damage at a double negative, resulting in moderate damage, but the Cyclops is hard to kill and has 1 wound left. Another attack, the Hunter spends its last power token for a plus flip, but the attack misses. And a pounce on chest also misses. The Cyclops activates and cheats for frozen runes and chooses to drop a scheme marker in base contact with the Ice Pillar. Then she attacks the Hunter, forgets about her grit aggressive, the attack hits, flips damage at a single negative, resulting in no damage because of the Black Joker. Another attack hits and flips damage at double negative, resulting in moderate damage of 4, reduced by 2 because of the armor. She ends her activation, heals for 1 and gains shielded +1. Joss uses transfer power to move the Hunter and give it 1 of his power tokens. Then he walks once and shoots an electric discharge at Euripides, and has to discard a power token to do it. The attack misses after cheating on both sides. Thune activates, and here we see the intuition cards. He attacks Melissa, and she spends a power token for a plus flip. The Red Joker ensures the hit and the frozen trophy trigger, and Thune flips damage with no modifier, resulting in weak damage of 2 reduced to 1, and Melissa is frozen again. Thune attacks the Peacekeeper. The attack hits and flips damage at a double negative. Because of the hard to wound of the Peacekeeper, resulting in weak damage of 2 reduced to 1. Thun ends his activation, heals for 1 and gets shielded +1. The Slow Hunter activates and removes the symbol and pushes for 2. The Primordial Magic charges to attack the Hunter, hits and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in moderate damage of 3, reduced to 1. Another attack, this time with focus, but the attack misses. The Mechanical Attendant tries to disengage. The Guardian hits and flips the move reduction at a single negative, resulting in weak, and the push from the Attendant is reduced by 2 inches. The Attendant pushes back and shoots at Euripides using its focus. Hits with a red joker and can declare the Daze trigger to move Euripides and stun him. Flips damage without any modifier, resulting in severe damage of 4. Euripides spends a Soul Stone and reduces the damage by 1. Ouch. The Gigant walks once and charges to attack the Hunter. The attack hits after cheating. He flips damage at a single negative, resulting in moderate damage of 3, reduced to 1. Here we see the card of the Ancient Pact. Hoffman activates and all friendly constructs within 6 gain a power token. He walks once and charges to attack Thun and spends a power token for a plus flip. The attack hits and Hoffman declares the inbuilt trigger Spool Up. Flips damage without any modifier, resulting in moderate damage of 4, reduced by 1 because of the shielded. Another attack, another power token spent for the plus flip, but Thun can cheat to defend himself. The Hunter in the front pushes for its deadly pursuit, the other one is stuck between ice and giants. Both crews gain 1 point for the strategy, and Hoffman can reveal Let Them Bleed, because Thun and the Guardian are on or below half of their maximum health. So it's 3-2 at the end of turn 3. Turn 4. Here we see the control hand of Euripides and the Savage crew, and here of Hoffman and the Augmented. Initiative goes to the Augmented and the Hunter activates, uses transfer power to push for 2, removes the symbol and walks once. The Guardian charges but stays outside of Joss' engagement range and attacks the Mechanical Attendant to pay it back the stun on Euripides. The Attendant uses a power token for a plus flip, but the attack hits and the Guardian flips damage at double negative, resulting in weak damage of 3, reduced to 1. Another attack hits and gets a straight damage flip, resulting in severe damage, killing the Attendant. Because of Euripides' ability Entomb in Ice, no scrap marker is dropped. Instead, Euripides can create an ice pillar in base contact before the Attendant is removed. The Guardian ends its activation and heals 1 and gains shielded +1. The Peacekeeper attacks Thun and spends a power token for a straight flip because it is still distracted. The Peacekeeper cheats for the hit and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in weak damage, bringing Thun down on 1 wound because he is hard to kill. A discard for the Flurry, another attack with a power token, this time for a plus flip. But Thun cheats and the attack misses. The Peacekeeper relentlessly attacks again, going on full steam with another power token for a plus flip. Flips the red joker, declares the spool up trigger to gain a power token, and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in weak damage of 2, killing Thune. And Euripides creates an ice pillar. With transfer power, the Peacekeeper pushes itself for 2 and ends its activation. The Cyclops has to cheat for her bonus action Frozen Runes to drop another marker in base contact with the ice pillar next to her. Then she concentrates and attacks the Hunter, but the attack misses. Hoffman activates, and he himself and the Peacekeeper gain a power token. Then he charges to attack Euripides, spends a power token for a plus flip, and Euripides suffers 1 to use the 11 on his discard pile. The attack hits, and Hoffman declares the inbuilt spool up trigger to gain a power token and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in weak damage of 2. Another attack. Hoffman spends a power token, Euripides his focus, so plus flip against plus flip. The attack hits. Hoffman declares spool up and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in moderate damage of 4. Third attack. Power token spent. The attack hits again, declares spool up, and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in moderate damage, killing the ice giants with his fists of steel. The Primordial Magic walks once and charges to attack the Hunter and uses the old ways, but the attack misses. Joss uses transfer power to push over to the Guardian and attacks. Spends a power token to make the damage irreducible. He cheats for a hit and can declare the Hyper Reactor trigger to gain a power token. Flips damage at a single negative, resulting in weak damage of 2. Another attack, another power token to get around the shielded. He cheats again for the hit and gets a straight damage flip, resulting in moderate damage of 4, bringing the Guardian down to his last wound because of hard to kill. The Lissa takes the symbol and walks a bit to the side to stay in cover. The Hunter in the back attacks the Gigant with Pounce on chest. Hits, places itself on the other side and hands out injured +1. Attacks the Gigant, cheats for a hit and flips damage at a double negative, resulting in weak damage of 2. Another attack, but after cheating on both sides, the attack misses. The Gigant attacks the Hunter. The attack hits and can declare the Shattering Shove trigger to push the Hunter for 2. Flips damage at a double negative, resulting in no damage because of the black Joker. Another attack hits with the red Joker and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in weak damage of 2, reduced to 1. Ends his activation to heal 1, gain shielded +1, and draws his card for the Ancient Pact. All activations done. All? Yes, Melissa is still in the fridge and does nothing. Let her go, let her go. Both hunters push for deadly pursuit. Both crews gain 1 point for their strategy, so it's 4-3 at the end of turn 4. Turn 5. Here we see the control hand of Euripides, and here we see the control hand of the Savage crew. And here of Hoffman and the Augmented. The Augmented cheat at 13 for the initiative, and the Savage gain 1 pass token. The Hunter on the upper corner removes the symbol and attacks the Gigant with Pounce on Chest, misses and charges to attack with its metal claws. The Gigant uses the old ways and the attack misses. The Primordial Magic charges to attack the other Hunter and uses the old ways. After a long game, the Savage forgot to put the 12 the Gigant used before under the discard pile and use it again. You can see the 11 underneath, so not a big deal. The Hunter uses a power token for a plus flip. The attack hits and flips damage at a single negative, resulting in moderate damage of 3 reduced to 1. Another attack, this time with focus, hits and gets a straight damage flip, resulting in moderate damage, killing the Hunter. Joss attacks the Guardian. I forgot to turn on the flip cam, so believe in what I say. Spends a soul stone for a plus flip, hits, flips damage at a single negative, killing the Guardian. Then he walks once and uses Command Construct on the Peacekeeper, spending a soul stone for the needed tome. Succeeds and the Peacekeeper walks forwards. The Cyclops uses the old ways to succeed with her Frozen Ruins to heal herself and the Gigant for 1 and ends her activation. The Peacekeeper destroys the crates, uses transfer power to push Hoffman for 2 and destroys an ice pillar in his desperate search for its best friend, Melissa.
Melissa, where are you?
The Gigant just activates and ends his activation to heal for 1 and gain shielded +1 and draws a card for his Ancient Pact. Hoffman walks 3 times to get in the enemy deployment zone and the game ends. The Augmented gain their 3rd point for the strategy and 1 point for Assassinate. Hoffman denies bait and switch, and with the Gigant and the Lissa on full health, the Savage deny let them bleed. So the Augmented win with 5-4. What a nice battle between brothers. Bernd, who played the Savage, was doing his brother a favor in picking Detonate charges. Some schemes are harder to score if you're not geared for it, so a friendly choice. Both brothers had a lot of fun, and I hope to get them together again soon for a rematch. We will see. And that brings us to the end of this battle report. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments down below and consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really helps. Thank you for staying until the end. I hope you will always find a handful of soul stones in your pocket, because you never know upon whom or what you will stumble out there. This was Julian speaking, and I hope to see you soon for another battle report out of the breach. Epische Musik. Epische Musik.
Nee, das ist Bonanza.
Und das dazu, Leute, Julian.